So we're back. Hey, this is the second in the morning series with Julian Fondran from here in Würzburg, playing the UFO. What do you call that again? Handpan?
Handpan or the hang drum.
Okay. And, I'm trying to find the right color of sound and the right dynamic level to work with him. Julian doesn't play very loudly, and I don't think the instrument should be played that loudly. Just right. And therefore, I'm going to try this mute. This is a very nice mute that it's called an on-stage mute, made in Los Angeles. What's this? Los Angeles, Paris, San Francisco, Chicago, London, New York, Vienna. Okay, well, so I think it's probably made in the States someplace. It's a pretty good mute. It has a nice form, and I like the sound. A lot of mutes don't work very well in the low register, but this one does. And I think I bought it from somebody in either New York or in... I think it was Mr. Guanari that I bought it from. He lives in San Francisco, and he happened to be at some ITG conference. We were talking about maybe Harrisburg. Really nice guy. Guanari. Anyway, fine trumpet player and a very intelligent man, good teacher. So Mario is his first name. Anyway, so I like this sound. So how do you find it?
Sehr schön.
Okay.
Sehr schön.
I can also put a plug in it here. It makes it even a little bit more interesting because the thing is that it can fall out easier. It did yesterday when we were working on it.
Yeah.
Check this out. See, the air's got to come out of the thing because otherwise the instrument's plugged, and it backs up on you if you're not careful. But maybe even without it is fine. Well, right?
This is auch.
Okay, so let's go back to that riff. What was the riff we were doing when we were talking about Punjabi music? Everybody talks about modern music and all this stuff, new ideas and whatever, but I can remember back in the 80s there was a series called The Night Rider with David Hasselhoff, and he used to drive around with a car that would talk to him called Kit, and there was a little red thing in the front of the hood and it'd go and he would talk to this guy, and they had music that was reading The Night Rider kind of thing, and Michael Knight, kind of very hooky, but the music was Punjabi music, but sped up. Because the Punjabi music is remember you doing that?
Yeah.
So let's see how you do that, and I'll just add on that little melody that goes on, which is just intervals of fourths and fifths. Check it out. Between you and I and Julian, that's not what I was talking about. That's pretty cool though. Anyway, I like that. I like that. It's even better. The Night Rider. Hope we don't have any problems with the game or anything like that, We always played the whole tune. No, I don't think so. And the most important thing in a dialogue when you're making with music is to leave space for the other guy to say something. Most people, especially me, most people that I know, especially me, because I know me best, talk too much and listen too little. And therefore I learn too little about the situation and often isolate myself. People don't really spend a lot of time with me privately because they like to work with me musically because I make a lot of statements, but making statements is not listening. What you need to do is listen to what the other guy has to say, because that's what a dialogue is about. So leaving room for the other guy to play something is a very important aspect, not just in conversation, but in musical interaction. So what do you think about that?
Schön, ich fand's gut.
Okay.
Du hast mir Platz gelassen.
Genau.
Ich hab dir Platz gelassen.
Now I'm leaving Platz for you to say whatever you want to.
Was möchte ich
What's
sagen?
this tattoo here? But what's it say on here?
Kannst du kein Latein?
Ad.
Multus annus.
Okay.
Auf viele Jahre.
Auf viele Jahre, yeah.
Lateinischer
And this
Trickspruch.
here is a little something from, what did you say?
Nintendo, Super Mario.
Super Mario, say the
Richtig.
show the Super Mario going up here, okay. Usually he's in blue with a red jacket, right?
Richtig, der
Okay.
Klemm.
Yeah, and what's this?
Hier der Hecht, mein...
Oh, you like to fish,
Fisch,
right?
genau, ich bin ja auch
So you
Angler.
gotta visit me in Canada and go fishing.
Ja, hast du da ein Haus?
No, but I was talking yesterday to a really great guy, he's a Zimmerman, he's gonna build a Baumhaus for me.
Sehr gut.
Yeah, in
Dann machen wir
northern
dann
British Columbia.
Fishing.
Yeah, fishing. And that's a northern pike you have there.
Genau.
Northern pike, right?
Ja, richtig.
Boy, that's a big mouth that thing is on there. Hey, did you hear about the guy that got swallowed by a whale
Nein.
last week? Yeah.
Nein.
He got swallowed by you can't believe this. He got swallowed by a whale.
Oh, das ist
And
blöd.
he was crab fishing, or he was lobster fishing on the east. It must have been the east coast because there are no lobsters on the west coast. So on the east coast of Maine or something like that, and he got swallowed by a whale that was
Hat er
feeding.
wieder ausgespuckt?
Yeah,
Hätte ich auch.
So there is such a thing about this story of Jonas. Remember the story? Oh, Jonas got eaten by a whale. It's from Porgy and Bess, from George Gershwin.
Yeah.
He talks about this old Jonas guy.
Ja.
Yeah. Okay. Well, enough digression because otherwise people are just going to turn this shit off and not going to watch us anymore. So let's play a little more Knight Rider, right?
Bisschen mehr Knight Rider.
Knight Rider, and then we'll vamp or modulate into some other world, right? So this is Julian, spaceman, space cowboy on his spaceship flying saucer instrument. Go ahead. Great. So, sometimes they use riffs like we're doing for background music for film. I've done some film music, some pretty successful film music, especially in Germany. Here was a film called Stonk. Have you ever heard of that film?
Nee.
Okay, you don't watch too many things anyway.
No.
You're mostly in your other world. But Stonk was written by, it was about the Hitler Tagebücher. And it was about the expose of a magazine called Stern. And they released a bunch of phony Tagebücher, what they call diaries of Adolf Hitler. It was all forged. But they paid a lot of money for it. They didn't realize that it was all forgery until after, and there was this big scandal about it. And yeah, it's unbelievable. And so a guy named Peter Herbolzheimer arranged a lot of the music and the film music. And I worked with the Bavarian Radio and the Munich Philharmonic with him in studios in Munich for this film. And a lot of the music, actually, original music for it was written by a guy named Konstantin Wecker, who's a Liedermacher in Bavaria. Have you ever heard of him? Connie Wecker? Okay, well, he was a big name in the 90s. Toured around a lot, and I did some recordings with him. But anyway, riffs like this are very important. For example, in the film, the score with Robert De Niro. I was talking about that yesterday. Mm-hmm. There's this great stuff, and a great trumpet player playing also. Tim Haggins is playing also with a mute in this film for this, and it's about a guy who owns a jazz club in New York. Not in New York. It's NYC New York Club, but it's in Montreal, Canada, where he's based. He's an American. He's actually a thief, and so this is what this is all about. But anyway, getting back to riffs like this, that creates a lot of atmosphere. That's things that are going on. Sometimes film music doesn't even have a melody. For example, in the film Master and Commander with Russell Crowe, there's no melody at all. It's just the sound of the sea. It's just the sound of waves. It's just the sound of what's going on. And there's a lot of drum beat also in it. There's a lot of rhythm in it. Boom, boom, and then these incredible sounds of cannons firing that they worked out. So sound is a very important part of the creation of atmosphere. And sometimes just the rhythm of something. You want to just play something rhythmical, very, very simple. That, as a matter of fact, I wrote a piece called The Wind on the Dunes. And I used a drummer. He just went boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Because I wanted to sound like basically white sands, which is Wapaweka. Wapaweka is an Indian word that means white sands. I wanted to sound like Indian kind of thing, in the prairies and whatever. A little bit like the film with Kevin Costner. What's the name of the film? It's called He That Dances with Wolves, which is a fantastic film also. So film music is for me a very important thing. It creates atmosphere. It lets people dream. So when we come back, we're going to play a little bit more riffs and talk a little bit more about this kind of thing. I hope it's interesting for you. And it's still early in the morning here, and I think I'm going to get a cup of coffee. Thank you. Until then.